Combine was last week. I think the on-field testing was like Wednesday to Sunday, or maybe Thursday to Sunday, which is kind of like the reason a lot of people watch the combine. Not really so much like the interviews and all like the all that stuff, but a lot of people are mainly worried about bench press, 40, the shuttle, all that stuff. Braden, I know you are keeping an eye on the combine relatively close. Who are some guys in your eye that really rose their stock up, and then who are some guys that didn't really like bring their end of the deal, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so I will say, called my shot again this year. Monroe Freeling killed it in the combine, ran pretty well. I think he had like a 4.9, did pretty well. Did he do bench press? I'm not entirely sure. I didn't look on his profile. He did not do bench press, but like 4.9, 340, 33.5 inch vert and a 9.7 broad jump, 6.7, 315. Like production maybe wasn't entirely there, but he started at Georgia. That's pretty good. Has 34 and 3/4 inch arm length. We saw a lot of. I feel like a lot of scouts are going to have a lot more of a close eye on that arm length this year. Just after we saw Will Campbell get destroyed in the Super Bowl, so him having long enough arms absolutely is a big plus. And tested pretty well. I said he was going to perform well, and he did. So pat on the back for me. Some other guys that I think did really well. Really, the like entire safety class, other than Caleb Downs, was like incredible. They were just flying. Lorenzo Styles Jr., Sonny Styles' brother, 4.27. Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon, 4.35. Like we had five safeties run six run a 4.4 or under at safety. Like these
Yeah.
boys were absolutely flying. So a lot of guys weren't really super high on the safety class. I think this, obviously the 40 is not everything, but I think this helped a lot of guys' stock with that this weekend. Taylon Green, I mentioned him earlier. Like I said, he broke the vertical jump record for quarterbacks by a whole 3 inches. Broke the 40-yard dash record by like a tenth of a second. Like 6'6", 227 pounds. Like even if a team is like, listen, not the best arm in college, accuracy has a lot of questions, although he does have a lot of throw power. If a team is like, listen, man, 6'6", 227 pounds, running a 4.36, put that boy out wide and see what happens. Like that's the type of talent where you could put him anywhere on the field and he is going to make an impact. He will make some money at the next level. Another guy here, Sonny Styles. Ever heard of him? Was pretty easily linebacker number one in this class, other than Arvell Reese, whether you consider an edge rusher or a linebacker. I don't know. I think he's more of an edge rusher. I had Sonny Styles as my linebacker number one, and he cemented that. 4.46 40-yard dash, 43.5 inch vert, 4.26 on the 20-yard shuttle, 6.5 244. They were comparing this guy to Megatron at the combine. I think that's all you need to know. You get a Megatron comp, you're a dog. Another dog, Mike Washington Jr., running back out of Arkansas. 6'1", 223, ran a 4.33. 39-inch vert, 10.8 on the broad jump, a 1.5 10-yard split. If that reminds you of anybody, Darren McFadden, also out of Arkansas, similar height, weight. Obviously, Darren McFadden's production at Arkansas was a lot better than Mike Washington's, but athletically, very similar. I think that RB2 spot is very questionable right now. It's Love and then like everybody else. Mike Washington might have ran himself an RB2 this weekend. Jeff Caldwell, another guy. 6'5", 216 pounds, ran a 4.31. 42-inch vert. I think this guy was listed at 6'3" on Cincinnati's website. He came in 2 inches taller. Pretty long arms, pretty good size hands. He went from maybe a day 3 guy to somebody you might even take a chance on in round 3. Chris Brazzell Jr., kind of the same conversation. 6'4", ran a 4.37. Just freaks. Everybody that ran at the combine was an absolute freak of nature. I think we had some of the most like opt-outs as far as the testing goes. So all the numbers are going to say that this is like the best class we've ever had athletically. It's because like 60% of the class didn't even test. So those are all of the, I think, good performers at the combine. I wouldn't say there were any bad performers, but there were definitely some guys that lost a lot of stock this week. Spencer Fano, I think it is, the tackle out of Utah with shorter arms than Will Campbell. So again, like it, people are going to see that and be like, okay, is this a guy that we can draft in the top 10? Because I mean, you look at Dawson, your mock draft last week, he was going sixth. I don't think he's going sixth now that we know that he has arms even shorter than Will Campbell.
Did I have him going sixth?
I think, unless I'm thinking of the wrong Utah offensive lineman.
You're
I
thinking
get him
of...
and Caleb Lomu confused like a lot.
Hold on, I'm being silly. Oh, I did. Wow, I didn't even remember that. All right.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know ball.
Hey, the tape is there. I think tape-wise, he was one of the best offensive linemen in the draft. But those short arms are going to kill him. Otherwise, he did pretty well, ran pretty well. But again, the arms mean a lot on the edge. We saw him taking centers, doing center drills at the combine this week. So whether he ends up playing tackle or not, I do think he will have success at the NFL level. But if he wants to get drafted as a tackle, he's got a long way to go after that arm measurement. Two other guys that kind of fell for the same trap. Ruben Bain, I mean, at this point, if you didn't hear about Ruben Bain's short arms, we've been talking about it for the last month and a half. It just got confirmed again. So we'll see what happens to his draft stock. Cassius Howell, I got to see what his arms actually ended up like measuring at, because it was like hilariously bad. 30 and a quarter inch arms.
Arm length.
That's like slot receiver arms. And this was somebody that very easily could have went at the back end of the first round.
Now I need to go like get a tape measure and figure out how long my arms are. I need to see like comparable like me to NFL players. Maybe I can't be making the short arm T-Rex references if I have like tiny
I have short arms.
That's kind of the thing is like we make these jokes about, oh, these guys have T-Rex arms. Oh, these guys are slow. These are professional athletes. They're doing more in like 2 seconds than I could ever possibly do in my entire life.
Well, was it the Miami tackle that was like 6'9", 350 pounds?
Chris
ran like
Bell, I think it was.
Yeah, ran like a 5'3" 40 or 5'2" 40. And everyone's like, oh, dude, he ran really slow. Do you realize?
He's 6'9", 360, dude.
People need to realize the average person cannot run a 5'3" 40. The average person probably can run 6-second 40.
Yeah, I'd probably say around like 5'8" to 6.
We're gonna
on average.
I'm gonna chat GPT this while you keep talking, but yeah.
But anyway, I don't even remember where we were. Cassius Howell,
Yeah.
30 and a quarter inch arms, was somebody that I thought could have went either early day 2 or like in the late 20s, early 30s. Now, maybe mid 40s because he does have decent tape, but he's a designated pass rusher with 30 and a quarter inch arms. Is that somebody that you want to take with that high of a pick? I mean, the tape is there, but that measurable is questionable. All those guys, a lot of my guys are going to be short arms. It's just going to be those guys. Caleb Downs also, apparently, we were talking about Jordan Tyson possibly not passing medicals, which I don't know if he even did much for medicals. I didn't hear anything back about that. But Caleb Downs apparently, out of some teams, had reportedly a partially torn meniscus and also possibly degenerative like ACL issues, which this time last year we had Will Johnson going in the top 10. He ended up falling to 44 because of that. Do I think Caleb Downs is going to fall to 44? No. He is still an uber talented player in a class with very few actual blue chip guys. I do still think he gets drafted in the first round, but his stock is going to fall a lot for that unless he can go back and have it be like if he goes back and ends up proving that it was nothing or like a misread or whatever, it's fine. But yeah, that could definitely drop him for sure.
ChatGPT says the average 40-yard dash time for the average man is between 5 seconds and 5.5 seconds. I do not believe that in the slightest.
No.
No.
Where's their
That
data?
that is skewed. Okay, is that the average man, as in like the average that has been recorded, or the average as in like the average Joe? Because that is being
average-
pulled. That has to be pulled heavily.
It says the average 40-yard dash time for a regular, non-trained adult is typically, for men, 5 seconds to 5.5 seconds. For women, 5.5 seconds to 6.5 seconds.
Put the American diet on into consideration.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is considering like the average guy is like, I don't know, 5'8",
They all have little arms.
170. How about at 6'9", 360 something pounds? It's
Okay, I'll look this
gonna
up.
be a lot more difficult to move the rock there. Like these people are not regular people. These are freakazoid, just built in a lab to inflict maximum damage upon their opponent. The level of build we're talking about here.
Yeah. ChatGPT's really thinking on this one. It's really cooking something up here.
It's like not sure.
Says a 6-second 40-yard dash. So you ran 0.7 of a second faster, going back to Bell, the tackle for Miami. You're in 0.7 of a second or 0.8 of a second faster than what he was supposed to. That's insanely impressive. Sorry, I didn't need to change the subject on that, but no. Those are really good players that you mentioned, Braden. Another guy that I think just like his draft stock just, I wouldn't say rose, but like solidified was Jeremiah Love. Ran like a 4.36, which is crazy impressive at the running back position.
Mm-hmm.
People were questioning Carnell Tate's speed. He ran like a 4.51 or 4.52, and they're like, now people are like, this isn't wide receiver one. The 40-yard dash should not be the reason you draft someone. It's the reason the Chiefs drafted Xavier Worthy, in my opinion, and that has failed thus far. It's the reason the Bengals drafted John Ross. That's the reason why it failed.
Go look at the receivers that ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. It's like Justin Jefferson, like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like these are the speed is not everything at the wide receiver position. Does it help? Obviously, but it is not at all what you should be drafting your wide receiver one on.
Look at a guy like Jarvis Landry. He notoriously had like one of the slowest 40s time for a wide receiver of all time.
He ran like a 4.8.
Yeah, and he was a legit NFL wide receiver one for how many years with Miami and Cleveland? So, not all that necessarily matters. Brock, did you watch much, if any, of the Combine? I didn't really watch much of it. That's why I had Braden mainly take over this segment for us.
I saw some like highlights or whatever, but busy at work this week, and then I got to celebrate a 4-year-old's birthday
There you
on
go.
Saturday. So, which I mean, now looking at it back, I'd rather do that than watch Iowa State play basketball on Saturday too. So it was. I'd rather listen to 4-year-olds scream over doing a lot of things, but I wasn't able to watch the Combine.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming I sound like water because.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
That audio sounded fine.
Okay.
The
Fix it
last
next week,
thing-
guys.
The last thing that I want to mention about the Combine before we move into free agency and the mock draft, apparently the world is discovering my boy Jennings Dunker. The NFL has kept, like, they keep posting, like, his 40 slow-mo with the mullet. I don't know why it's taken people this long to realize the absolute stallion of a human that Jennings Dunker is. Not saying he's going to be first-round pick, potentially second or third-round pick, but watch out for my boy Jennings Dunker. He tested really well this week.